We're good. Okay, now it's 9 o'clock. I'd like to call to order the Columbia 9 Communications District Special Board of Directors meeting for September 22nd, 2023. For roll call, members present, Jeremy Hasenkamp, Bruce Halsey, Henry Heimuller, Bill Hensey, and Rob Anderson. Yes.
For staff, we have Mike Fletcher, Director, Mickey Nichols, CFO, Danelle Hooper, Ops Manager, Nathan Hughes, Technical Manager, and Mary Jo Beck. Also, we have Legal Counsel, Heather Van Meter, and Michael Peterson.
Thank you. Start with public comments. Just a reminder, is limited to 3 minutes each. We'll start with the audience that is present in the building. Is there any public testimony from the audience? Hearing none online, Nathan. See any? No public comments. Next, additions to the agenda.
And from staff.
Hearing none, we'll move on to the July 2023 regular meeting minutes.
Mr. Chair, I move that we approve those as presented.
Motion, do I hear a second?
I'll second.
Go ahead. Okay. Second. Bruce gets the second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed. Financial reports. Budget variance. They're in the motion. And I do want to do these separate.
I was just gonna ask, do you want to do those, does it make any difference, Mike, whether we do those individually or together?
It's
Okay.
Makes the motion.
I'll make the motion, second discussion, move that we approve the budget variance report for both July and August.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve both the July and August budget variance reports as presented. Discussion.
Mr. Chair, if it's okay, I'd like to ask, make a question.
Yes.
Now that you're in this a few months and that kind of thing, one of the things that I typically ask the CFO at these meetings is if there's any unusual trends or anything that you see in our budget variance that we should be aware of or concerned with. I didn't notice anything, but anything of note?
So nothing of note, no unusual trends. There is so in preparation for next year's budget, while I'm entering all of our expenditures in there, I started out by quid pro quo, keeping things exactly the same as Nancy had done. But in doing so, I've been seeing just little things. And here's one example, our coffee machine. We get 2 separate bills. One is a lease and one is for the copies. Both have been put under the budget line item for lease. I've separated that out now and because it's more appropriate to put the copies underneath office supply expenditures, that type of thing. So little things like that I've been making some changes. So when we go to do next year's budget, we'll have a more accurate assessment of where things are being, and not that it's been done wrong. It's just some little things that I've been noticing. But other than that, no.
Thank you.
Any other comments? I just have one question. This is the correct one to bring up for the receipt register and the treasurer's report. Just a cleanup thing, I noticed one of them is still question marks on the bottom of this one about says what like bank account it goes to. And the treasurer's report has Fletcher being city administrator. I
Yeah,
wonder if those are getting updated in the system.
I hand crossed off July. I didn't on August, and yes, I will get those updated. They were just on the bottom of the get it done list, but yes,
Actually, having the figures was the priority.
yes.
And just so everybody knows, one of the goals of hiring a new CFO was to modernize our financing software. And so she has been spent numerous hours, day and night, transferring all of our data into the new software program. And so it does look a little different because it is a new software program. And some of those titles is boilerplate and those will get fixed as but the importance was paying the bills and paying payroll, so.
And we are good moving forward for this fiscal year. I still have a lot of work going backwards, so I can come December. Do the employees W-2s and do vendor 1099s. So all that data still needs to get entered in the system, but we've had some other things to get done. And after this meeting, then I think I can spend a lot more time focusing on getting that back data entered also. And working on those little things to clean up.
Any other questions? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Passes. Check register. I'll entertain the motion for approval of both July and August expenditures.
Mr. Chair, I'll read through this and then switch to July or August. I would move that we approve the expenditures, for July from, let's see here, check number.
A little trickier now.
It is a little trickier now, but we'll get used to it. Anyway, I'm just gonna say the check register as presented, through the electronic expenditures, in a total amount of $208,532.74. And the August report, with all claims as described, even noting the handwritten notes on our printed copy in the amount of $218,605.04 as presented. Now, I wanted to clarify that after we get a second.
There's a second. I'll second that. There's a move and seconded.
Okay, I'm thinking that my numbers might be incorrect, only this is a relevant new form for it. The total should be, I think, the $366,000 figure from August. And so I'll need to amend those because I was, just following my pattern of what we're used to. I didn't add those things together. So the August claim should be $366,207.41. And it is described that way in our documentation. And let me go back and touch on.
Your clarification, that's adding the claims and the payroll.
That's everything. Yeah, which is the total, which is what we would typically approve. And our July number should, instead of what I described earlier, should be $389,973.97. And this was reading from the wrong column, so excuse my error there.
As a formality, is that a motion to amend the original motion?
Yeah.
Is there a second on the amendment? I'll second. It's been moved and seconded to update the initial motion to include the combination of the claims and payroll for both the July and August check register report. All those in favor of the amendment, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed? Passes. And back to discussion on either check or register. Any questions or anything? Mike, do you have anything to point out first?
Nope.
Nikki?
No, but I welcome any of you to come by and feel free to ask any questions on this, and I'm happy to go through it with any one of you.
Thank you for your notations off to the side. To explain
Wanted
some of the wonkiness to it as we adjust.
try to make.
Appreciate it.
Yes.
Once again, any questions about the expenditures? Hearing those, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Operations Manager Report.
Some movement within the building for staffing. So Alex did return to the floor full-time as a communications specialist, and Kirby started as the training coordinator on July 31st, and she is blazing. She is off to an excellent start. And she's gonna actually be holding her first all staff training in the second half of October. She's done such an excellent plan, and she's got such an excellent plan to bring in both local, state, and federal agencies from the outside. So we've opened that up to our local first responders to come in, get some free training, and that we can actually collaborate a lot as well. And with Alex returning to the floor, we now have 13 full-time. I have 2 in the very, very final stages. One of them that is, I've just got a start date set for October 30th. And another one is still got to do the couple of the last little steps. We don't have anyone in training right now. Our staff have been starting to participate in outside events in the community more and more as we get out of COVID and invite more and more stuff. So they did participate in the Columbia City Prepare Fair. Actually looking at doing the Clatskanie Fair. It looks like we've got some volunteers from our staff. We were able to hold a very successful summer barbecue. Lots of family came. It was really great to see. And really good food. Thank you, Mike. Also in your packet is some information about Power DMS. It's a public safety software platform that a lot of our neighbors have been using for quite a while. And we've been looking at ways to enhance our quality assurance, quality improvement, our training program, our training systems, and tracking policy changes and compliance. And subscribing to this software platform is going to streamline all of that. It's also going to help us make sure that our policies and our training are always not only updated, but they're always matching and that they're always available on a continuous basis. It also helps us track and archive. So once we load everything into this type of a system, we're going to be able to see it as a living document from its beginning when it's born all the way through present day. So we can look back. Right now, we have a very old way of doing that, like pulling out cardboard boxes and then running into different rooms. I can answer any questions that you may have with the one disclaimer that we have only had a kickoff meeting. We have just subscribed to this and I'm working with Kirby. She's going to help build up the system. And as we work to update our own agency's personnel policies and stuff, that's where it will live. Eventually, I am looking at trying to get access for board members to be able to see some of that because we can change the level of access for each user. Are there any questions?
Easily audited for CJIS compliant, each board member.
It can live there actually, and any of your, board training can be there if we need to share documents with you guys. And really bring us not necessarily into the future, but just up to date with our industry. Mhm.
Well, I appreciate the attachment you provided to your report. You can see the hours that are going to be saved, having everything kind of automated to do report queries and audits. And to prompt people about their upcoming expiring certifications will be nice.
It'll also help us with positive recognition. So we'll be able to do evaluations in there, but also be able to see improvements. And it's gonna be really, really great.
What costs are associated with this? How do we pay for it? Is it per user? Is it
It's on a subscription basis on a block of employees, and so we're actually the lowest because we are a very small agency. But it gives us room to grow where we're never gonna have to increase that subscription because we're never gonna have more than 29 employees, at least in my lifetime. The cost, so they're separated out. I did get a 20% discount because we subscribed to more than one of the software platforms. So the Power FTO is where the training tracking will live, and then the policy system is completely separate. So all total, after the initial setup, is gonna be $9,020 a year for all three systems.
What other systems you guys evaluate? And why did you settle? on
Blackwire.
EMS?
I settled on this one for very practical reasons. All of the other 911 centers in the Magic system use this, as well as other neighboring agencies. Washington County, Multnomah County, Bowick, Cottage Grove, Deschutes County, Baker City, Clackamas County, Westland, Newport, which is a agency that's similar to our size. I met with actually other training coordinators from the agencies that have been using this for a while. I've been looking at it for over a year. Fall training last year at APCO, I actually sat down and started talking to people. TacWire is the other one that I looked at, and I found it to be very geared to outside of the building field training, police. And Power DMS does encompass all of public safety, but it's really focused. We're able to really cater it. We can build it and modify it to our own system. So it's not a cookie cutter. So we built it from our own training program.
And then questions on that, how much staff time is gonna be? What are you budgeting for staff time to put into this to get it up and running? How manpower intensive is it to get it up and running?
As far as the amount of money first.
No, like, obviously, garbage in, garbage out, so getting the information in, policies and all that. Are they doing that transition from what you guys currently have, or is that gonna be on staff to do it?
It's not really black and white on that. So Power FTO, we're gonna submit some information and they're gonna help us build it. They'll do a lot of work on it on their end, which is included in the setup cost. Then they meet with us. We're gonna meet with them every couple of weeks for about an hour or two. The Power policy is a lot more labor intensive. So Kirby is gonna be the one that's gonna be working and building that with the our CTOs that are in the building, so they're learning the system at the same time. While we're building this, training is going to incur. So our CTOs are gonna learn about the training program while Kirby is inputting it. So there's a lot of overlapping benefits while it's being built. We would have had to do this anyways. And we're just not gonna do it on paper.
Yeah.
And then the Power policy is gonna be a collaboration with legal counsel and with administration to get those all in there. I don't know how much time yet because it's dependent on what all we want to put in there. And I've only had one 30-minute kickoff. So I know what it's capable of doing and how much time it's gonna take to do it. It's gonna depend on what we end up fighting is gonna be in there. The setup is gonna be a little bit labor intensive. The benefit on the back end is for years, it's gonna live there. We're not gonna have to travel once.
So current policies are all like that, and they're not in one set program right now. Sorry, just from coming in.
They're in,
All the policies are.
they're in a file, like an electronic file.
And they're being updated with legal counsel.
And I guess my question is if other agencies have already gone through and have very similar policies, is there any way to circumvent having to get this done to grab these other partner agencies' policies and just, they're already in there, pick out and adjust the ones that we need to, or are you guys gonna have to rewrite and upload all this stuff into there?
Neither. So we are not gonna use another agency's policies. We'll use our own, but we don't have to rewrite them. They already exist. And we're in the process of working right now with the personnel policies. And so I'm probably going to start with that one. As far as talking to other agencies, there are templates out there that we've looked at, and we are going to build off of one that exists so that we don't have to build it from absolute ground zero. We're just going to take it and tweak it. But yeah, no, we will not use another agency's policy.
Any other questions? Okay, moving on, technical manager report.
As you can see, we've been doing some upgrades in this room. So we're transitioning, we got a big fancy camera up there. We have a Teams room controller. The vision is that when somebody comes in, us or EOC or any of those other groups that meet in here, they can go up there, press one button, all the TVs come on, go to the right input, and then just select their meeting and have it go from there. So really trying to streamline it and cutting down on the pen clicking on the microphones. Switch back over.
In other words, all the little black circles now in the ceiling, I take it.
Yes, and I tested out the audio and it sounds amazing. So hopefully the people on the phone are hearing everybody very clearly. Any questions about that?
It's good.
So I've been talking about the repairs outside that have been needed. It's gotten kind of messy. All of our quotes have come back very, very different. One contractor says we need to replace our whole roof, one contractor saying we don't. So we hired a building inspector to generate a report for us so we could say, this is exactly what needs to be fixed. And then we're going to start working with another company to try to get all the quotes to line up because of how much money it is. We don't want to overpay for something or repair stuff that doesn't need repairing. The gate outside was damaged, so Merck's was able to repair that. And then we got Metro Gate to come out and fix the chain because that came off. Magix, we've been working with a new mobile user group to design a new mobile interface. It's not a new product, it's just a facelift. And then we've also, or this week, we actually rehosted all of our CAD servers to new equipment. So it's all running Windows Server 2019 and is a lot more robust and so far running smoothly. That's all I got.
Any questions?
Who's the user group for that upgrade? Or is there like a user, you said there you're working with some user?
Oh, so that's for the mobile MDC. So each agency is appointing one or two kind of liaisons from their departments. So we have a couple users in the field that are tech savvy and like to break stuff. So we'll give them the product first and let them put it to its limits to see what works, what doesn't work, what looks good, what doesn't look good. And then we'll take it from there. Our issue right now is we probably have 50 plus MDC configurations in the system. And so we're trying to pare all that down because managing all those different configurations, somebody's going to get skipped and they're not going to get an update. So the new system does look a lot nicer though. It's brought it into this century. And for the rehost, it's just the techs that get on that call with some operations to make sure everything runs smoothly.
Any other questions? From your work, thank you after getting the disparity of the bids from working on in the scope of practice kind of goes down to identify what we need to actually get done to make it easier for us to digest.
Yeah, well, even for me, I got a couple quotes back and they're hard to swallow.
All right, in the report, moving on to old business. Which is the adoption of the meeting schedule. 2023, 2024.
I move that we adopt that meeting schedule as presented.
There's a second.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to adopt the meeting schedule as presented. Discussion. Obviously, a couple conflicts. I see off the bat, the usual Thanksgiving Day. And maybe minor adjustments when it comes time for budget committee to make sure we have a quorum for the budget committee.
Are we gonna look at changing that November meeting date right now? To move just like, or have a general set if there is a conflict for a holiday, the next week before, the week after, so that we have a set go by, so people can plan if it does come under that.
That is the pleasure of the board. Does everyone want to tackle that one right now, or do we want to establish that next month? Be prepared to have a date.
Because we're only less, I mean,
Or
we're coming
direct.
up less than 2 months from.
Or direct Mary Jo to work her usual magic at trying to find dates for us.
There's also been times, depending on the level of business, that we were in the process of, that we've just skipped a month. If we, and again, I'm not advocating for or against that, but there's been times that we've done that. As that month approaches, or as Christmas. Make a job. I haven't looked at the calendar far enough to see where Christmas falls in the world, but date wise, but
Christmas is on the Monday of the week.
so we'll have to worry about that.
Most people are out of town on the 28th, that same week, so.
Understand Jeremy had a concern about trying to find the alternate dates sooner in the schedule. And we can ask Mary Jo to work on that and to start on Thanksgiving.
Yeah, I think that would be a good move, so that way, we can plan far enough in advance versus coming down to the week before and trying to see it work. Coming down like August, I mean, obviously, that was a last minute, we didn't have enough for a quorum, so, but yeah, I mean, I'd move to try and move it the week before right now, or have Mary Jo figure it out for us so that we can come up with an alternate meeting date.
Thanks, Mary Jo. Could you start your usual magic?
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, normally if it is difficult to kind of determine with Thanksgiving and Christmas, sometimes we just have it in early December to kind of cover both months. So I can send out an email and kind of see what your guys's schedules look like.
I just say on this one, putting it the week before, that puts us the 17th or the 16th, something like that. So, and then, if people can't make it, we can go from there. But I just say that we move that the week before.
So that's the rest of the board. Do you want to try to come with a date now, or have Mary Jo facilitate the process? To give you time to look at your personal schedules.
I would suggest, if Jeremy wanted to make a motion of that manner, we can set that date, and then if we need to change it next month's meeting, we can address it then.
Yeah, so I mean, we've set all these out, so I'll make a motion to just change it to the week before.
Can I ask?
Since it falls there.
before you move forward with that motion, just for your consideration. The earlier in the month that we have a meeting, the harder it is for me to get financials done because I don't get statements in time to get things processed. So just to consider that when you're scheduling or rescheduling meetings.
And I guess I'll ask, do you want to amend the motion, or do you want to move forward with the current motion with the understanding that we intend to?
I'll go with what we currently put out there, and then obviously we can take into account that if you don't have the financial reports, that it is what it is. It's not gonna be done, so. And then if there is multiple conflicts, we can address that with Mary Jo at that point, but I just think it's easier to plan now than to go down the road and try and figure it out later.
Perfect. It's been moved in second to approve with the current 2023-2024 board meeting and workshop schedule. Again, with the intention of addressing conflicts early, specifically Thanksgiving. Any final discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Okay.
Opposed? Like radio system.
Yeah. So see, the Meisner construction, we're going to postpone the conversation on that for executive session, but Mr. Peterkin and I have been working on that with Day Wireless, their civil engineer, our civil engineer. we will go over that. The phase 3 microwave upgrades are complete, other than the Meisner site, which is tied to that construction plan. The next gen radio project, all the user agencies, interviews were completed. Federal engineering is developing the body of the specs and requirements. I have a meeting with them scheduled for next week to go over their progress. We have one thing that Nathan and Merck's have been working on is it's that time of year where we do winter prep for all of our sites. And so generator services, fueling for diesel and propane is almost done, I believe. Need to check with Merck Bourbon. But that's all taken place. I think I mentioned in previous meetings regarding our CPE replacement project. We've received all of our Motorola equipment. It's being staged here. And then Motorola will be here to install the racks. And we're working with operations for training. Our estimated go live is the first week of December.
Like, pardon my ignorance, CPE equipment.
So customer premise equipment, it's our 911 phone system. We are way past due for a forklift upgrade and we're on the road to getting that done. That's about all I have, sir.
And for historical reasons, just for, I think Jennifer, that's been a little bit of a moving target because OEM changed how they assisted financing that. All right. Any questions for Mike? Hearing none. We will go into executive session under ORS 192.6002D. Labor negotiation. Oh, sorry, I mistake that. I'll say it again. ORS 192.660 subsection 2D for labor negotiations, followed with ORS 192.660 legal counsel discussions. Exit executive session, which happened at 12:52, resuming normal session at 12:53. Technically is a point of order to continue on past our 2-hour mark that we're going to try to be done in a couple minutes. Need a motion to continue the meeting. Do I hear a motion?
I'll make that motion.
It's been, it's been seconded. So moving on, old business. Oh,
Point of order.
yes, sir.
Do you want to do a vote on that?
No, thank you. Yes. All those in favor say aye. 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 All those opposed? Moving on. Old business continued. There was appointment of advisory committee. Is there a motion?
Mr. Chair, I move that we approve the list of proposed appointments from the agencies as presented.
It's been moved to. Okay, is there a second?
Second for discussion, if there isn't.
All right, it's been moved to approve the advisory committee list as presented. Any discussion?
I feel there needs to be more clarification from the ORS regarding members and member agencies.
Is there any other discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye. 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 Opposed?
Opposed.
Still. We look into things. Moving forward, Meisner site improvement.
Motion. Well, if there was to be a motion made, it would be to accept or reject, the Meisner cured with the 10-year warranty and reimbursement of fees, both Cushing and attorney fees, or either or.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
So moved and seconded to move forward with the right information on the agreement to resolve the Meisner site. To make sure it includes that 10-year warranty.
And the cure is per Cushing Engineers approval of Miller Engineer fix that was presented by Dave Wireless.
That's presented.
Yes.
Get that, Joe? Okay. Discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye. Aye.
Opposed? Passes. CBA contract.
Heathers. I'll make a motion to approve the contract.
It's been seconded. Been moved and seconded to approve the collective bargaining agreement between Columbia 911 Districts and Columbia 911 Dispatchers Association as presented. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Passes. I'm sorry. Along with the CBA, usually associated with it is the adjustment of the administrative wages to reflect the cost of living as agreed to with the bargaining unit. For any,
Mr. Chair, I move that we approve the administrative wage adjustment that mimics the collective bargaining agreement numbers as we typically have done in the past. In addition to that, I'd like to go back and make our administrator whole in bringing his last year's contract up, or his last year's COLA up to speed, so he's back at level with the understanding that we're going to do his evaluation very, very shortly.
Second that.
it's moved and seconded. Discussion. Hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? There's no other old business. We'll move on to new business. Bullard Law representation changes.
Mr. Chair, as is recommended by our general counsel, I move that we, acknowledging, first of all, I guess I should say that Bullard Law has been a stalwart representative of this district for many, many years, all the years that I've been here for sure, and they're going out of business. That we sign the note that they sent to have our our records dispatched to Miller Nash. And you want the same motion or separate motion to,
I'm good with the slate if you.
okay, and at the same time, authorize, acceptance of the, proposal from Miller Nash to continue on as our, with Heather and et cetera, as our legal counsels under Miller Nash. I know that that's a little bit of a run-on sentence, sorry.
I'll second. There a second. Any discussion?
I just like to say that in agreement with Jeremy, that at some point in time, as the dust settles, that we should at least have a solid discussion about when and if we should go out for an RFP for legal services. I feel like if we were to do that now or even very shortly in the future, that what we would see would be Miller Nash and whoever else may bid, if anybody, come in with numbers that were much more market rate numbers as far as their hourly rate is concerned. I think that right this very minute, let's call it a honeymoon phase as they let new legal counsel come in the door and get settled in. But you're bringing clients, and we're solid, obvious, long-term clients with Bullard. And I think that's going to be good for Miller Nash as well. But I think we need to recognize the need for stability right now. And I just truly appreciate, Heather, that you're moving over there, and all of this is a quick, easy shift without a whole lot of dust up right now.
Any other discussion? In agreement with that, as you said, I'm gonna back on that, is we did commit that after the first of the year, we will look at this process and reevaluate, which this is not supplanting that. I believe that discussion will still take place. The immediate issue right now is we know that the doors will be locked at Bullard in the very near future. And so we at least need to be able to continue doing business as is. Being said, no other comments? I'll call for the vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The next physician advisor contract.
So this is pretty simple. We do have a medical director for the 911 center. It's in conjunction and in cooperation with the other EMS fire districts. We share a physician advisor. Our current doctor is leaving this practice. He's taking a extensive sabbatical. The fire districts, the EMS agencies, the district, the 911 district participated in reviewing applications, interviews, CVs, et cetera, et cetera. Fire districts and EMS agencies and our participation selected a physician. This is a joint contract in cooperation with all of the said agencies. Our portion is a fee structure. We pay 5%. It's very simple. All the other agencies have signed on, and it's either the board director or the board president just be authorized to sign this contract, or you can authorize me to sign the contract.
Yeah, I can make a comment.
Yes.
I reviewed the contract and I generally accept the form. I think that the next time this is up for review, I would ask that we look at section 7 arbitration. Not a very good arbitration term. It's not very workable in practice. And I would make suggestions to change this, but because we're just one of 5 at this point, I don't recommend it now, but the next go around, we should look at this form on the arbitration and have a more user-friendly arbitration provision that actually works. Okay, this doesn't work in practice.
I see both heads shaking over there, so identify definitely it's a yellow flag. I
Yes,
believe everyone else has approved and signed it, and we're the last agency.
and this is why I'm saying it's not enough to change this go around, but the next time we negotiate it, let's get a term in there that it works to everyone's benefit.
Is this standard Columbia County contract? That look kind of, I mean, if that where that came from, I'm just curious who brought it forward.
That's gone through each legal agency of each fire agency for providing EMS services.
Gotcha.
It's had multiple lawyers involved in it.
Yeah, and the kind of the difference is that the people in the trenches that actually litigate cases or arbitrate cases, and I've arbitrated hundreds of cases. We look at arbitration provisions. And they're really important.
The first thing your eyes goes to is not the same as everybody else.
Yes.
After that,
But with that,
you have no objections.
so I certainly suggest that the board sign it as is, but with a little yellow flag.
First, I'm in marathon mode right now. There was a motion and seconded.
Yes.
No.
Okay, well, let's just.
Very
let's just make-
It's just explanation.
Just make sure. Is there a motion? We could have had a motion before we discussed. Sorry.
Sign that contract.
And I'll second it.
It's been moved and seconded to approve Mike to sign the physician advisor contract. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Hearing none. Agenda items, October 26th. There'll be two things, because that date was good. And is there anything that we wish to, board members wish to have added to that agenda?
Have you had your fill?
Oh, that doesn't.
October 26th, I believe, is the same day as the mediation.
Oh, it is.
Ooh, thank you very much.
In the afternoon or in the morning?
It's the,
Mediation will be.
All day?
well, they say 2 days. It's 26 and 27.
Right.
Now, I know Shelley's not here. Is this gonna be,
It's the 26th.
this be our usual thing of asking Mary Jo to get on this first thing next week? Find an alternative date?
I can totally do that, but I just asked you guys, check your email because it takes a while to get some responses sometimes. And I feel like I'm leaving people out if I'm like, okay, I've only heard from 2, so I gotta go with this. So
Why don't we do just like a meeting request where we can just hit yes or no instead of having to go back and forth? Just like to send it out to everybody from Outlook, like, hey, meeting request, and they can say yes or no. And if you want a forum, then.
I think maybe a doodle would be the best. solution.
Well, I mean, yeah.
I don't know how to do those, but we can figure it out.
All but one of the police is sitting right here in this room, so for next month's meeting specifically, since I want to, can we just say the 19th of October? Move it ahead 1 week, is that, I mean, if we just do it right here, then we don't have to go to all that minutia with our staff.
I would love to have could I be heard? Excuse me.
I'm not.
Please.
Or Mr.
Because you'll probably be requested to partake in that meeting.
I love the idea of having it on the 19th. And here's why, is because I think the board might want to move into executive session and give you and this is something that hasn't been voted on, who is going to attend. And you could do it on the 19th of who's going to attend and give you specific direction. So I'm a big fan of the 19th.
I'm good on the 19th. Yeah, I'm so far good.
The only issue at that time, so that's Oregon firefighters memorial. You're not planning to do anything that, okay?
I'm.
Sorry. Me too, I'm off, so and that means if the cat update goes bad that morning, we'll find out about it.
There's a cat update?
Oh, yeah. All right, I'll switch that over.
Okay, so the next meeting date is going to be October 19th,
9 AM.
9 AM.
You're welcome.
Thank you. All right, other business? Any other business? Hearing none, member comments, starting from the left, Henry.
Well, it sure seems like we covered a lot of bases today and chewed a lot of cats and a lot more to go, but I hope that you know, Jeremy being a new member and with our legal counsel here, it's nice to hear other ideas, new ideas. And things like that, so
look forward to more of that. In our time frame most of the time. Bruce.
No, nothing.
Great.
All right, well, thank you everyone and for the patience. It's super long meeting. Appreciate you helping us power through lunch to get through it. With that, we are adjourned.
I was just gonna ask.
You, so